Interesting. Could Taskmaster, if he was in the world of Dragon Ball, copy the techniques in the energy attacks of the Dragon Ball characters? And it's a big maybe, because it would rely on him having to get the prerequisite of learning how to use ki. Because if he learned how to use ki, then he could quite easily replicate a lot of attacks. Because even if he didn't have ki control, just witnessing something, he would almost instantly be able to replicate the exact hand motions to replicate said attacks. But then, if he learned ki control, maybe his power would make it to where it would allow him to understand the exact flow that ki would go through a particular person's body, so that he could almost perfectly replicate the technique via simply replicating the flow of ki to create said attack. Like watching someone perform the special beam cannon and then being able to replicate that by just replicating the flow of energy. But also, if he learned ki control, he's going to get massively stronger. And when you throw in the fact that he'd also still have his ability to basically mimic any type of martial arts techniques, he'd almost be able to perfectly replicate any person's fighting style. And my god, if for some reason we let him go this far, if he ended up training with the gods for whatever reason, he'd eventually, probably, at least pick up on the basics of Ultra Instinct. Because Taskmaster's whole gimmick is witnessing a technique or witnessing a fighting style and almost perfectly replicating it. So as long as he does enough build-up, effectively, make his ki control strong enough, fortify his body enough with God knows how much training with the Dragon Ball characters, he could, in theory, at least get the basics of Ultra Instinct and get pretty powerful from it. But that's also assuming that he actually ends up as a good guy, which, with how Taskmaster is, might not happen. So, if he sticks to how he acts normally, he might just be a tricky-to-fight villain. Someone who's been analyzing people for God knows how long, basically pull a Dr. Giro, compiling all sorts of research to make himself the perfect opponent. Like a human version of Cell, pretty much.